Hello, everyone. This is Kev, and this is BMBBH, and welcome to another Any Given Sunday here on this channel. First off, let me give you guys a couple of reminders. One, please, by all means, like this video as you walk into this broadcast. Let me give you a couple shout outs. RPM. What's going on? And Joe's, what's the deal? Greg, what is up, my brother? Thanks for being here. Like I was saying, please hit that like button on your way in, and definitely, if you are a first timer to this channel, go below this screen and hit the subscribe button, and you know, be a part of all the fun that we have here on this channel. Be aware of the scroll ticker scrolling across the bottom of the screen, which includes my Cash App, fair use on any material, which, yes, this will be in place tonight. This is for edutainment purposes only, and I do have a tendency to use harsh language on this channel. So if harsh language isn't for you, you have one of two options. Either you can tune out, or shit, just just be with the shits. Yeah. So anyway, this is going to be sort of a discussion reaction. I've called this one traditional, and I put that in quotes. Black woman goes on an epic TikTok rant against the modern feminist mentality. The reason why I put it in quotes is because TikTok is really an app that you can never really tell if people are being for real or they're just doing things for shock value. So, like many other TikTok experiences, this might be an act. She might be an actress or something like that. That's why I never really dove into the McDonald's discussion, although it sparked an incredibly huge debate. And maybe it would have been a good one on this channel, but it turns out that it was a skit the entire time. But like I say, it made for a great conversation from what I could tell, especially on the Roger Report. He had a discussion about it. And I'm not saying that, that it just because it's a skit, it can't make a great discussion. It's just that it would have felt too much like a rehash if I'd have put it on this channel. Um, so it was, but with someone saying something with the gravity that this particular lady said, I doubt she was acting, because even if she was, she still earned a lot of vitriol and hate from the sisterhood because of it. Yeah. The Angry Snowman. Well, what's going on? Phil Brad, what's up? Good to see you again. He said, "Are you saying the McDonald's dad video was a theater?" Yes, I think she even came forward and admitted that it was. I mean, she doesn't have four kids; she had one child, and it helped her monetize on TikTok. So, I mean, do whatever you like. Do whatever you got to do to get to the money. Do whatever we got to do to get to the money. I'm not against that at all. I mean, I did say that it made for a great discussion, and I'm quite sure that there are plenty of situations that happen that are like that. Greg said that, how do we know it was a skit? Shit sounded real to me. I guess they were just some really great actors. He said, Angry Snowman says, wow, people do anything for fame, so cringe. I don't know. I don't know. It still was a much needed discussion. But anyway, let's move forward. Let me share a couple of images with you guys. And me just pretty much call this your representation of black female leadership. I don't know if I said it on this channel, but if I haven't said it, I'll say it now. I am not a fan of black female leadership in general, I would say. I'm not going to follow a female. You can call me sexist, you can call me misogynistic, all you want. RPM, what's going on, man? Um, if you take issue with me saying that, I will explain it, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna do it. It's just I don't, I'm just not the one that feels like in the modern era that there's a lot of emotional gravity that the opposite sex can handle in order to lead me or any man for that matter. And if you are a female led man, then I feel sorry for you. I really do. It's and you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me. And just want to stick out a couple of examples, one fictional, one non-fictional. Um, that sparked some discussion before I get on with the reaction video. Uh, or the video that I'm going to react to. First off, the trailer release for Viola Davis's upcoming film, The Woman King. Uh, First off, I'm probably with the general populace. Woman cannot be king, and this one right here is Hollywood propaganda. But take it how you want to take it. I don't see why they keep doing this shit to Viola Davis. Um, and a lot of people, men and women included. I know a certain content creator did a video saying that men were upset, but I've seen some negative reactions from both genders, basically. But we know an overwhelming majority of B Dubs is going to see this film. You know, you know, uh, attributed to the trope of empowerment, so to speak. But and I'll probably end up um going to see this film myself just for a point of reference, and just in case I decide to do a broadcast on this channel or the entertainment channel we have, the Black Dimension. Um, yeah, not, but not really feeling this joint right here. And it seems like Viola Davis is their chosen one, basically to spread propaganda, whatever the case may be. But is the same Hollywood crap. Put the B Dub in a domineering position over the man, and we all know that shit doesn't really happen in real life. But since we're living in a matriarch, you see the disastrous results of doing such a thing. Uh, but we shall see. I mean, who knows? The movie might actually be good, but from what I can see, I seriously doubt it. It, it's just that I don't have a good feeling about this one, and this movie is just yet another major gaslight in the propaganda machine that is actually against the black man. So I'm not saying that I'm angry about this. It's just what I come to expect from Hollyweird. And it is what it is. Here's the other little piece before I get started. Uh, this right here, which is extremely laughable and just further reinforces the joke that I believe that the Democratic Party has become. This is Senator Tierra Mack of Rhode Island. Now, I don't know who she's running against as far as the upcoming election, but this is how she decided to campaign to get votes. Now, there is this saying, bad publicity is still publicity. And, although this received a very negative reaction, she got a lot of attention for it, and this has gone viral. This has been not performed, I'm sorry. This has been reported on by several media outlets, and she definitely got the attention she wanted with this. Yeah, like I said, she's a whole state senator. I hear she's 28 years old, which is pretty young, and it's pretty much a power play from a young person. But it seems like twerking is just the overplayed language of the modern day B dub. Is is something that is like, I don't care if a woman twerks. I don't care. But I'm also a believer that it's a time and a place for everything. Is not It's something I don't care if it's like for the entertainment of the spectator. Um, but like, as far as it's going happen, like, say for instance, there's a few restaurant videos since the cock kitchen and cocktails incident with Kevin Kelly that went viral. I, w- I don't know how it was last year or a couple years ago. I think it was a couple years ago. Um, Ever since that incident went viral, there have been several videos of, twerk outbreaks that have happened in restaurants, and it just doesn't seem appropriate. But it just seems like that every time there's some form of trying to grab attention, it just, the twerk, 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 twerk. So, I mean, and this is due to the cultural influence of, entertainers such as Megan Thee Stallion. It's a way for, I don't know, the attention seeker to empower themselves. And uh, let me tell y'all something. Like, years and years ago, I mean, you might call me old fashioned. Some people might even, so to speak, call me an old nigga. Because, that's what a lot of the young people in the space like to use, terms for people who are 40 plus. I mean, maybe even in their late 30s, because that's just how dumbed down we've become. Um, this would seem as if it's unacceptable, but it's 2022 and we have been seeing some wild shit lately. So a lot of people would deem this kind of behavior, let's keep it real, this kind of behavior unacceptable. This is not becoming of a politician that you want running things. But it does, which should be to no one's surprise, have the support of the modern day B dub. I don't know how you guys in particular feel about it. I mean, would you vote for Senator Mack? um, and it's just like I said at the beginning of it, it just shows me what a joke that the Democratic Party has become. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to run and vote Republican because of this. It's just that, um, and here's what I tell any of you guys is that when you vote for a candidate for any election, you should do your research to see if this is a person that serves your interests in particular. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And like I said, this is an example of female leadership. It is. I mean, she was voted into office, and I mean, if that's the type of person that you want to follow, um, that's your prerogative. You can do what you want to do. Is whatever. But as far as I am over here, is not someone that I would consider myself a good example to follow. And this is the kind of person that you'll put in office. They'll say they have the interest of blacks in mind, and then they'll get in office, and then they'll vote for everything else. They'll go in the interest of every other group. They're probably the kind of person that will vote yes, and I haven't done the research, but vote yes on sending millions upon billions of dollars to other countries and not even look our way when it's time to, you know, vote on or champion something that is for black people. And I also hear that she is a part of the alphabet community, so you know how they roll. So yeah, just a fictional, non-fictional example of something that I will probably refuse to follow to the for the rest of my life. And if people want to call me misogynistic and sexist for that, then I will be exactly that, and that's just what it is. But yeah, well, you already got the comments over here, kind of going, go, y'all kind of going in already. Um, Anthony Drosos was going on. Shout out. Uh, Joe said, when I saw that, I knew things had gotten bad. Uh, Infantry Skills says, local politics, black man. Dane Wan, what's going on? Um, RPM say the Demon Crates had a video called "Get Your Booty to the Pole." That's all they want. Them. That's all they see them as hoes, and that's how they advertise to them. American Negro, what's going on? Oh, Dane Wan. The Angry Snowman says, "Shit is disgraceful and embarrassing." But let's get to the reaction. Okay, there's enough of this, and just wow at the end of the day. I mean, this is what you see on the screen is an example of what it has come to. So let's get to the reaction because I really thought that this video was funny. I was gonna do like a pre-record on this. I was, but I thought it'd been more appropriate if I had just reacted for all of you guys to see. So let me go ahead and share the screen and just before I do that, okay. So we got over 30 in here watching, and we got 25 likes. Make sure that you are um, hitting that like button. Likes are for free. They are for the algorithm. Day one says she looked like a warped chocolate fountain. I said, shoot. I would have said something like, probably smells like corn chips and bacon snacks. I mean, but anyway, let's go ahead and do this video. Now, I'm not really sure how you pronounce this young lady's name or TikTok tag, but yeah, she had a lot of interesting things to say. Yeah, and I've seen that a couple of couple of content creators already made broadcast and videos regarding this. Yeah, I thought it was epic. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, it's not going to be too many B dubs that I agree with. I didn't agree with 100% of everything she said, but I mean, I agree with quite a bit of it. So let's do this real quick. All right, so and let me tell you guys something. I will be stopping this video to give my commentary, periodically. The video itself is about 4 minutes, so thanks for hanging in there with me. So here we go.
If you are a woman and you are saying that you have a dream job, you are a special type of stupid. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I don't dream of working, I don't dream of having a job. And you know what? It used to be a point in time where women didn't have to work. All they had to do was do their husband's laundry and make him dinner and have sex with him every once in a while, and they didn't have to work. But now, guess what? Women do have to work.
Yep, and thank modern day feminism for that one. Now, I will say this: I'm not against women working. I'm not. But I'm also not against women that want to be traditional, I would say. And feminism has done quite the number on women who think like this. Women who, what she's about to say is, what, what she's about to say, this rant she's about to go on, will get women shamed, will get B-dub shamed, and she appears to give zero fucks, but she's like, although I don't agree with her on the women who want to work or anything, I'm gonna agree with most of what she says here. But but for the most part in this entire rant, she is speaking truth. So let's continue.
And that's the problem with this society right now. But you know what? I'm going to add my little 2 cents to it. And here we go. Management positions are for men. Women should not be in management positions because women do not know how to handle power. As if this is a big shocker. Men were created to be in positions of power. Men were created to lead. Women were created to follow.
Okay. See, she already getting into it. Yeah, if you are a traditionalist, especially if you believe in the Bible, or if you see the way that things were structured in society, um, we are to this point in history mostly, and if not 99.9%, because of men. If you want to factor race into it, I mean, shit. Um, Black men had a quite a bit to do with it, but it's especially like with a lot of inventors of things that we use to this day. Uh, is is I mean, said women weren't uh, women cannot manage. There, I'm just gonna say there will be a lot of women that'll disagree with this, and I don't give a fuck because I mean I've experienced these things, and a lot of these, and most of it did not end well, especially for those particular females. So let's continue.
Men are smarter than women. Men
Oh, she said men are smarter than women. Oh, I think this pissed off all the sisterhood when she said that. But I mean, it's not too far fetched. Let me continue.
are stronger than women. Why is this such a big shocker in today's day and age? Every time I look on TV, women have been upgraded to all of these new fancy positions. You got women out here, they want to be captains of ships. They want to be police officers and firefighters. That's so stupid. Fine.
Yeah, if you watch your current line of television shows, I will give two examples in particular: Star Trek Discovery, The Equalizer starring Queen Latifah. These are very overtly feminist shows that put females in leadership positions, and it just doesn't look right. It doesn't, you know. Uh, but let's continue with the video.
Ever in need of some sort of help, do not send a female police officer to my door. Do not come to my house. If you are a female firefighter, do not come to my house. Period. And I'm on record saying that every time I see a woman in a position of authority, I think two things. She's in over her head and she doesn't know what she's doing. And why would I want a female firefighter or a female police officer showing up to my house? Everything y'all do, y'all need a man for backup. Might as well just send the man. Didn't nobody tell y'all to apply for these jobs? You know that stuff is too heavy for you guys to lug up all of those stairs. Why would I have a woman try to defend me on my behalf? If I call the police, if I call 911, I want the biggest, strongest man on the police force to come to my door. I don't want some woman. Do not send a woman to my house. I don't care if she's 6 feet tall. Stay where you are.
Is she lying though? Is she lying? This is where she's telling a lot of truth. I mean, if you call the police, do you want a female police officer to come over? If so, she better have damn good aim, and hopefully, whatever disturbance it is, it better not be two big old grown ass men that are armed as well. I mean, shit. I mean, look, why would you want a female firefighter who can't carry people out of a burning building to come in? I mean, is she telling the truth? But let's continue.
Literally, the only thing a female police officer can do is to point me to a male police officer. And you hear people talking about, oh, women are so strong, women can do anything, women can do everything, women can't do jack squat without men. If you ask people to list off what is the one thing, what's the strongest and the toughest thing that women do? Bear children. That's the number one thing they'll tell you, bear children. Guess what? A man had to invent the freaking epidural for women to have children.
Facts. Facts. A man did invent the epidural.
In freaking peace. We still needed a man's help for the hardest thing that women do. All your husband wanted you to do was freaking sweep the floor and have sex with him when he comes home from work. Why is that so hard? Half of y'all on the internet selling your next will give it to a man that's paying the mortgage. This is crazy. No, but you call it empowerment. It's empowerment when you sell it for $5. It's weakness. It's you're weak and you're dumb and you're stupid if you give it to your husband who's taking care of you. That's
Yeah. Why would it be dumb for a woman to submit and find a man that is taking care of everything, including the bills? Now, like I said, you can thank modern feminism and movies like The Color Purple for that. Having women believe that if they are under the leadership of a man that is taking care of everything and he's requiring things like submission, washing dishes, keeping the house clean. That's some form of slavery, which yes, she is very correct. That is very stupid. Or she's setting herself up for oppression. There's all these arguments about submission and how they won't submit because the man isn't paying everything. And but then when he is paying everything, then they will say stuff like that they are being set up to be oppressed. I mean, really, Alice Walker really fucked y'all mentally on that one. But let's continue.
dumb. You sell it for $5 on OnlyFans. That's empowerment. Y'all are so stupid. Like
How, yeah, and that's like somehow being some kind of hoe or twerking something for $5 on OnlyFans is empowering. It's some form of independence. Like it is it's like it's like you don't like I just got done saying. It's like the smart one to me would be the one that's finding a man to take care of her as long as she take care of like regular ass house duties. I mean, instead of setting up, an OnlyFans and having to bust it down for like a $5 subscription. I mean, let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'll be checking them out in just a second.
Literally stay away from me with all of this. Women out here trying to run everything. Y'all are running everything in the ground. Go home and do some laundry and raise your kids. And male pilots are now that a pair of panties is close to the cockpit. I would never get on an airplane knowing full well that there's a female pilot. I would never do it. My life is in jeopardy. My life is at risk. Why would I risk my life? You got a whole bunch of stupid people that will sit there. Well, a woman can do anything a man can do. Well, you sit your dumb ass there and you sit on that plane and watch it crash.
I wonder if she from the South because that accent is very likened to a Southern person. But I gotta say, I've never heard of a female being a pilot. I mean, if I have, it's been in very rare instances. But every plane that I've flown on has had a male pilot on it. Let's continue.
I'm not gonna do that. It ain't supposed to be no female surgeons either. All these positions of power are for men. I don't want no female operating on me. For what? All you need to do is to pass the scalpel, pass this, pass that. You ain't supposed to be calling shots. Not over me. You're not gonna be calling no shots over me. Always trying to run something. Wipe his forehead. Don't need you sitting up here talking about, well, I think, don't nobody care what you think, Mary Beth. Don't nobody care what you think, Elizabeth. These crazy freaking white feminists leading this world to hell. And here come the black women. Okay, here we come. Stupid.
Now, and that final point she made, ever since the dawn of like third wave feminism, by with that famous pic of Gloria Steinem and Dorothy Pittman Hughes putting their fist in the air. I mean, it does seem as if the beat every time the the white woman gets ready to support some kind of female cause, then the modern day B Dub will sit up there and follow right behind them. Giving this illusion. I forgot, and I'm not the. I think Dr. Tia Son Johnson worded this illusion of sisterhood across races, I would say. And one thing that I will always say is sisters are being used. They're being used. It seems like that you just whatever the white woman says, the B Dub will be right behind them. Except for when it comes to dating black men. And then, even though they're still not fully against white women, they'll be against the black man on that. Y'all want the white woman. I mean, well, shit, y'all want to look just like them, and y'all want to act just like them, and you believe that just because you you and them have vaginas, that somehow that makes you have something more in common with them than with us, and the struggle with the black man. I mean, I would even hear certain females who co-sign to Eurofeminism, as I like to call it, Eurofeminism, that being pro-black means being pro-black man, and I'm not the one that really co-signs with the whole ideal of pro-blackness because pro-blackness is not really pro-black, and I did a broadcast about that last week. I'm not gonna go through that again, in explaining why I believe, why I don't believe in pro blackness so much. But, I do believe that we need to improve as a group. But just one of the key points is that the modern day B Dub has departed traditionalism, and in an effort to rebel against the black man, and this is why you have so many of these this conflicts in the differences between gender, especially 2022. And this particular female right here, let me put her back on the screen. She's like at Rafaya. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce that. Uh, uh, let me see. Let's see if I can put her picture back up here. There it is. Um, there it is. Like she's saying that she would never be under the knife of a female surgeon, or she wouldn't want to fly in a plane with a female pilot. That men are made to be in positions of power. Now, whenever power is discussed in this space, um, what a lot of gentlemen have a tendency to say is that men should be going after power, and I do agree with that. The problem is, and what got things to the point where she's really ranting and complaining about in the video, is the fact that men in particular have given up power. We have given up all our power in the name of equality, and things were never ever supposed to be equal, because when you do things in the when you do things in the name of equality, then it takes a real horrible left turn, and what you end up doing is, instead of things being equal, you start to give up leverage. You give up more and more leverage, and especially with the vagina people, in which really, as a man, you have to be careful with, because a lot of you guys, what you do is you'll put things on an equal basis, and then plus the fact that she uses the power of her vagina, especially if that thing good. Your motherfucking noses will be wide open, and the next thing you know, that you'll be the one submitting instead of her. Got to be real careful with that, fellas. But with her is, as far, she seems as if she's married. She seems as if she's married. That I would not be able to confirm that, but I mean, she's speaking from the point of view of a traditional married woman who has, excuse me, who has found that man that does everything, and she willfully submits, and kudos to her for that. Kudos to her for that, because it also seemed like she hates feminism, and double kudos for that. But I mean, is so, I mean, what are y'all? And I'm about to check out the comments in a second. What do you guys think? Do you agree with what she says? If, like, say for instance, if you found a woman who had this mindset, would you willingly, you know, lock her down, marry her, put her in a home, take care of her, and while she take care of all the wifely responsibilities, you're out making bread and taking care of everything, because it seemed like this she is the personification of a submissive woman, and what she kind of hates is the fact that in this day and age, a woman like her is an outlier because of all of this strong and independent talk, all of these talks of, you know, uh, in this female empowerment, which is no more than the depowerment and the shaming of men. Um, did she make sense to you guys, or did she, was she on point with what she was saying? Is this something that you believe that a traditional woman should be? I mean, and then on the other side of that, and I read a couple comments in the Facebook post. I saw this was posted. A lot of females, of course, they would be against this because the idea of them submitting to a man is crazy. Um, they themselves would say that this is a woman who has no skills, that don't know how to do anything, you know. And then it was the usual uh, modern day woman rhetoric. It was I'm not going to be a slave to a man. I'm not going to put myself in a position to be oppressed, and that's the contradictive argument. The same women that'll say that will say that, y'all want us to submit, but y'all want us to pay 50-50 as well. Now, most of the women who do that have that mentality. They have that mentality on their own volition. They're the ones that decided to listen to movies like The Color Purple and believe that if they weren't working, if they were actually let a man take care of them, that man would turn into Mister. And this is especially true with the modern day B dub, the modern day black woman. Shoot, they believe that bed wench Alice Walker actually told them the truth. But it is what it is. Women like this, especially in 2022, are a dying breed. But, her rant, I would say, on the outside looking in, her rant was on point. It's like, why would you give that much authority and that much power if you're a grown ass man to a female? Why would you do it? They're not logically based creatures. They are creatures that are based on emotion. And whatever they feel at the time, no matter if it's right or wrong, is what they believe to be correct. And that's not it. That's not it. Sorry. So let me check the comments real quick. Yeah, she went off on this one. She went off. All right. So yeah, let's oh, we got 46 in here. Hopefully y'all press like. Uh so all right. You got Raw Ale in the house. We got Weather with the super chat. What's going on? He says behind every alluring word of a pick me is a dick me trying to stay hidden. I'm not buying anything these black pick me chicks are trying to sell. Uh, I don't know. She kind of looks like she's already been picked, but like I said, you got to be careful with these TikTokers. Like, just as I said, the McDonald's thing was an act. Shoot, well, let me drop this link. Raining Woman, what's going on? Good to see you as always. Shaka Nulu, what's going on? Let's see. Hybrid Catastrophic Impact X83rd Power. What is up? Let me go back in these comments a little bit. Let me go back in these comments. Yeah, I'm finna go through and see what y'all had to say. Oh, so Alonzo, the All-Star Advisor, is in here. What's going on, brother? Hopefully everything is going good for you. Definitely check out his channel. Raining Woman says she's a bit too extreme for me, but okay. Shoot, Raining Woman, but Raining Woman was talking that traditional woman talk. Especially when I first ran across her. Mr. Me Too. What is up? Yeah, so let me see. Um yeah, Weather says vet every female in 2022 and beyond. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Y'all can't be so wanting that you fall into alluring words. Well, every guy can't get that female right there. So, hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd power. I want to see how other women reacted to her video. LMAO. Philip D. Redden, what's going on? Says she's from Memphis but now lives in Nashville. Oh, okay. Okay, Weather said female pilot is getting tagged in the cockpit. No doubt why the plane is flying. Rael said the video was funny as hell. The video of the century. Okay. A sower a seed. What's going on? Shaka Nulu said they're gonna call her a misogynist and chauvinist pig. And then Anthony Drosso said her accent reminds me of my dad's ex from South Carolina. Uh, Rael says denigrating black men on daytime TV for 40 years is extreme. Undereducating black boys is extreme. Over sexualizing black girls extreme. This video is wisdom talking. She's truly woke. Yeah, and Rael is speaking on the true definition of woke, not this crap that you see all over the media today, which basically is a mutated form of feminism. Um, D-Tech say you can't get more pro-black than the Nation of Islam, so I guess you're 100% against that, Kevin. Pro-black as far as the Nation of Islam, but I explained what my issues with pro-black was in my other pro-black video. And my main issue with pro-black is it just seems like it's nothing but dick policing at this time. It's never about the empowerment of our people. But go ahead and speak, G. What's going on?
Hey, how
G,
you doing, Kev? What's going on tonight, brother?
yeah, what's up, man? So what?
Man, I'm just listening to you, man. I'm just listening and learning. I got my own opinion about this stuff, so whenever you're ready, I'll give it to you.
Okay, all right, yeah. Let me go through a few more of these comments. But Hybrid said, Rael, this year alone, so many homeless women have begged me for money, seeing more and more. And I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I saw a woman with a child, and I gave her a few dollars just because she had that child with her. But that's usually the trick. And a lot of people might have something against me helping that woman. They might say I'm a part of the gynocracy for that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I had a few dollars to spare, so I just went ahead and told her to get her kids something to eat. Um, Hybrid. When I was in Atlanta, I had homeless black chicks with kids begging me for money all the time. See, Hybrid says women weren't built to live like men. Um, yeah, D Tech. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody who's here, thanks for tuning in. Said D Tech said, I don't think we've given up power. I think we've lost culture. Mm, I don't know. Like it might be both because I mean, a lot of these divorce laws and a lot of these states are unfairly leveraged against men. Hybrid catastrophic. Impact X83rd Power says Zaddy government running out of money to fund these benefits. Now B does got to get out there and fight the saber tooth tiger. I don't feel sorry for them. RPM says women abuse any power they get nowadays. Yeah, does seem that way. Rael says, thanks, nice. The government forces women to have to sign up for selective services over. They're gonna be out there on the front line like everyone else. They just proposed it again. Hmm. Yeah. Faith M, what's going on? Weather says, Kev, I'm telling y'all, these chicks calling audibles at the line of scrimmage. They're not what they appear to be. Be very, very careful. That's a very legit warning. I would say. Yeah, I would say. Faith, I'm late, but I completely agree with this sister. Real men are the head of the household, government, and most importantly, the church. Uh, and Blu-ray, her sassy tongue and rude attitude is garbage. Okay, that's somebody who's on the other side of that opinion. I think you'll probably go along more along with what Weather's saying. But G, go ahead, man. What's going on? What are your thoughts?
Hey man, no, my thoughts on it is, man, I don't believe none of these hoes. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, man. I don't. We gotta remember, man. A couple brothers already predicted that when this shit happened, they gonna come around saying the exact same shit they saying now. Now all of a sudden they want to talk, and but when the other Cad was here, oh, you guys are misogynist. You hate your mother. Now that the shit coming true, now, oh, I'm submissive. Where was all these submissive bitches at when they was talking shit about her?
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Where was all these submissive bitches at that want to be wives when they was getting on Jerry Springer and Maury and Sally what is that? Sally Jesse Raphael. All the shit we've seen, Oprah, Dr. Phil. Where was these bitches at then when we wasn't shit? Now all of a sudden, oh yeah, the government benefits cutting back, the economy getting bad. Now all of a sudden, oh, I'm submissive. I think a man should lead. If he's a provider and all, man, I'm not listening to none of that shit. I never even agreed with the whole talking about high value man thing. Like that shit was some bullshit. And if you listen to the rhetoric when it came up, we were using that because that's what they were saying. That's not what we agreed to. You know what I mean? I don't believe none of these hoes. These is the same bitches. They're the same. They're the same women. They're the same exact ones. I don't believe the one. The only one I believe probably a little bit is Crimson Cure. The rest of them, I don't believe nothing. I don't believe Courtney. She knows she a washed up baby mom. She know what's going on. She know nobody want. I don't believe none of the other creators that's on here half naked talking about talking points so trick niggas can send them money. All that shit. I don't believe none of that shit. If that's the case, why ain't none of them bitches married? Where's they husbands and kids and families at?
mm,
All these bitches is 35 and 37 and 42 and man, I'm not believing none of that shit, bro. That's just my opinion on it. I know what these bitches is. We got raised by them. And so we should know we got raised by them. We know how quick they'll lie. We know how quick they'll put up a front. All that. Come on, man. For the brothers
mm,
that's believing in shit, they need to get their hand out the sand, man. Get your head out the sand. We
mm,
know who these people are. We've been dealing with them. We got raised by them. We've seen the bullshit our sisters, our cousins, our aunties, our everything. We've seen all the bullshit. So
mm,
I don't know how all of a sudden now niggas is believing them because they said something. Like, come on, boy. You got
mm.
to be smarter than that. That's my opinion.
Well, although what you're saying is absolutely correct, there are, and let me speak, and I'm like I've said and I've stated that you never can tell with TikTokers. They might be actresses, but and why would she bring this if she was an actress? Why would she say all these things and bring all this heat on herself? Yeah, what you're saying is very true. I mean, you say you don't believe any of them, not one. But yeah.
Listen, bro, I don't believe not one. Even the one out of four that's married, them bitches ain't submissive. They arguing with their husband. And then a lot of these older dudes come on here like, yeah, I was married. Nigga, you was being, come on, man. I only on heard one of these dudes keep it real and say, yeah, I had to leave that bitch because I couldn't do it. Like, yeah, I was married, I had kids, and I thought that I could just alpha my way. None of that shit. Alpha is a term in nature that has nothing to do with human beings. Ain't no such thing as an alpha male human being. That shit is for wolves and other pack animals. I don't want to hear none of the alpha. Man, y'all, they talking like bitches. That's all that shit. You're not no alpha, nigga. You're a human being. We don't even survive. We don't even live the same way we lived when that terminology came around. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? We don't even live
yeah,
like that.
yeah, I
And
did.
then if you are alpha, just like if you're in the military, they have alpha, bravo, Charlie. Those are sign calls. That actually doesn't really mean shit. It's just so you don't say A, B, or one and two. It's a code language. You know what I'm saying? If you even pay attention, or they say alpha leader, bravo leader. You see what I'm saying? Being a beta isn't bad. The betas hold the alphas up.
Mm,
You think when you see a wolf pack running and it's an alpha wolf, he's not the only one fucking. He not if he not the only one fucking. He might have the first choice of breeding, but he's not the only wolf getting no wolf pussy.
uh,
People speak on things that they have no real knowledge about. Humans is not alpha and beta and none of that shit. That is some pickup, whatever the pickup coach terminology to sell niggas shit. You're an alpha male like me. Niggas, oh, I'm an alpha. Nigga, shut your ass up. You don't even know what it means. You don't know they're referring to animals that travel in packs. All these niggas think it mean you're a solo individual. You can't be an alpha without a pack, nigga.
yeah, I did a broadcast way back in the day that just kind of reinforced what you said about alphas and betas. And one thing I did say is if you're gonna go along with um, the whole alpha beta narrative, man, you're gonna have to understand that the beta is the second strongest. And but I've said exactly what you said. Alphas and betas only reside in the animal kingdom, and usually when guys use language like that, it's just to impress females. You
And
know,
think about this: the niggas that they referring to as alphas are not even the best amongst us.
no,
They're not
no.
even the best. They're not the most intelligent. They're not the highest earning. None of that shit. They're not the most resourceful. They haven't put together any corporations or conglomerates or anything. They're just niggas that bitches like to fuck. So niggas like
Well,
alpha fucks beta bucks to a nigga that get money from bitches. And he'll call a man who works and makes 60,000 and is responsible, has a retirement, a home, vehicles. He can spend the money. He's a beta because this bitch don't want to fuck him. But this nigga sleeping on the couch smoking weed all day is an alpha because this bitch want to give him some pussy. Man, I'm not trying to hear none of that dumbass shit. That's what I was saying, bro. I've seen the shit our community do, bro. A lot of us is trying to sound intelligent and we really don't realize we sounded dumb. Like, nigga, you sound dumb, man.
all right. Let me give some shout outs to Greg for the Cash App. Really appreciate it, brother. Uh, like maybe my most consistent cash outfit to date is Greg, so I really appreciate that. Weather, thanks for the super chat once again. He said it's a tactic, Kev. Remember in Jurassic Park when they said the female raptors attacked the electric fence, never attacked the same spot twice? Yeah, looking for weaknesses. Yeah, but yeah, I do agree that that uh, we have to be careful with this kind of language because yeah, although I thought the video was funny, and to me she sounded somewhat convincing, uh, but we as men we have to stay vigilant. We had so I agree with you too. Yeah, we have to stay vigilant, and we have to be looking for the trickery, because if we get caught with our pants down, then we're fucked. So yeah, but
Hey, in real life, listen, Kev, this is basic sociology.
yeah.
Men control the environment. Now, there's a certain group of men that are just better than the other man. We need to stop acting like this shit doesn't exist. There's a certain group of men who are more intelligent, they're more resourceful, they're more tough, and they control shit. And they understand to control the man, you control the man through sex. That's why the old guard was like, look, we can't keep fucking all the women. We gotta give the dudes that's right under us the most productive. We have to let them fuck women. This is how monogamy even came about. But it was never real. It was never a real thing. Like while the king of England and the king of the Ottomans and shit was letting the men have wives and talk about marriage to the state, them niggas had whole harems. They had harems of women. When Genghis Khan would let his soldiers get married, nigga, Genghis Khan fucked a new bitch every day. Genghis Khan had so many children that we can still actively trace his lineage through the whole Asia, not just China, the whole Euro-Asian subcontinent, all the stands, Kazakhstan, Turkestan, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, all of that shit was part of Genghis Khan's empire. That's Eurasia. All the way to Mongolia, China, and everything in between. That was Genghis Khan's domain. He let his soldiers marry for a reward. That's what it came about as. You see what I'm saying? All the top men have never been monogamous. That's for the men who are what we call non-select, or they just don't have the force of will. That isn't bad because it's not even a competition. Even the competition is an artificial construct. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
That's an intellectual thing. And if you're not intellectual and you've been raised by a bunch of bitches in your feelings, you would think this shit is about getting pussy when it's really not. It's really about your position amongst men. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
And you're not being the strongest man is not necessarily bad. We have men that are CEOs of companies that build engines, but they don't know they're not engineers. You see what I'm saying? So that's not the role that they play. But they're good leaders. They're good leaders of men. They're charismatic, you know. And there's a reason, even this is even basic evolutionary biology. There's a reason why only 15% of the population or 14% of the population is over 6 foot. It's because the short niggas killed all the tall niggas for fucking all the bitches. Niggas don't even. Why do you think? Why do you think the average man in the world is 5'7"? That's the majority of the men in the world are between 5'7" and 5'10". The Spartans, them dudes were not tall people. The most dominant fighting forces in the world wasn't 6'8" warriors. Do you know how easy it is to take down a 6'8" man? Look how easily the basketball players get injured. They injure their hamstrings, their knees. Their bodies break down quicker than a smaller person. The
Mm.
most dangerous men in history were like 5'6", 5'7", 5'5", 5'10". These were the most dangerous men in history. This is a fact. You could just look up war heroes. The most decorated war heroes are between 5'5" and 5'10". Some of the most fearsome warriors. Think about the Vietnamese. They fought off the whole United States Army for years in the woods. They fought off us. They didn't beat them. They didn't hurt them, but they fought them off to a stalemate to where they was just like, nigga, we just gotta leave. And you ain't about to tell me there's no bunch of 6'8" Vietnamese people running around. You get what I'm saying?
Oh. That man said, "Hey, what up, Donnie? Donnie, my habitual line stepper brother, is in the building. Let's see. Let's check out some of these comments. Uh, said Rael said I'm 5'11" and dunked on plenty of tall dudes on the court. They tend to be the weakest dudes, actually. Then Hybrid says, I'm 5'11" and can't dunk a donut. Yeah, but I mean, you seem to be making some pretty good points, man. I mean, but I mean, you
Just think
pretty
about
much,
this. Think about this. NFL players are superiorly, they are physically superior to NBA players. NBA players, the game of basketball has become so soft that think about watching a basketball game. Them
yeah,
fools barely get touched and the ref is calling a foul. And if you look at these dudes are 6'7", 140, 188 pounds. Look at Kevin Durant. This is why people like LeBron and Shaq are such freaks of nature, because it's rare to possess that type of strength with that type of height. Now, I've been around a lot of Sudanese people, and they tend to be, they're called Nilotic. They're taller people, right? But when you push, they are easily moved. There's no way. And this is people like, yeah, the Africans are bigger than the Europeans. Okay, they're taller than them, but why couldn't they beat them at warfare? When it was hand weapons, when they had was spears, in the Bronze Age, and swords and knives. Why couldn't they beat them man at warfare? Think about this. They did when you gotta hold a line, think about football. When you look at the linemen, they're all a uniform size. They're not all different sizes. You get what I'm saying? So if you have a line and you have to hold the line and you got to protect the man's next to you body from his shoulder to his knees, right? You can't have a bunch of niggas that's 6'7" and then a bunch of niggas that's 5'9". You have to have the average height person. Even if you look at most of the Navy SEALs and shit, them dudes ain't 6'5" and shit. Some of them are, but it's actually rare. You know what I'm saying? The most dangerous men in the world are think about the fight, think about the prize fighting weight classes. How tall was Sugar Ray Leonard? You see what I'm saying? The greatest, arguably the greatest boxer ever. How tall was Sugar Ray Leonard? Do you know?
Mm.
A man that won 75 fights, lost one, then win and won another 90. How
Mm.
tall was he? He was like 5'9", 5'10".
Mm.
How tall was Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson was only 5'10". He was destroying men who were 6'4". They were coming in, they didn't have the power and the strength to stand against him. The only thing that stopped his reign was that he had to go to prison.
Mm. Yeah. Well,
You know,
Donnie.
think about the most powerful men you know, and think about what they really look like. These niggas ain't 6'5". You rarely meet a 6'5" person anyway.
Yeah. Donnie says, YS4W, he says, how y'all talking about fighting in war but skipping over combat sports for non-combat athletes? This is silly. Um, and
Hold on, let me explain something to him. Hold up. First off, all sports is based off of combat. The reason that they play in those things is because the gladiator rings are gone. Every sport is a gladiatorial sport. You need to know your history. Why do you think it's important for them to run and jump and be physically active? What do you think warfare is, nigga, before guns? See, niggas done got fucked up because of guns, and they don't understand that a majority of the wars in the world were fought hand to hand. Most wars were hand to hand wars. It's only in the last 200 years we've been dealing with firearms. So the need to be as physical is gone. But the reason you have these sports in arenas and domes and shit, this comes from Roman gladiatorial practice. These are the society. See, niggas they don't understand basic sociology. They're war sports, nigga. But that's too intelligent for these niggas. Let me shut up talking.
what I'll say is Donnie is a trained fighter, so Donnie would probably have more of a grip on,
Him being a listen, him being a trained fighter has nothing to do with understanding the society you live in. I'm not saying he can't fight, but physically, wars was not fought with guns for the first millennia of human history. Guns are a new invention. So this nigga talking about why are we talking? Where do you think sports came from? Where do you think the first Olympic trials came about at the race of marathon? And he was running in a war to take a motherfucker a letter. He had to get the communication there. These dumbass niggas don't know what the fuck they talking about, man.
ooh, ooh, well, okay, uh, but let's talk about what she talked about in the video. I mean, is it, despite the fact that she might have been on some cap, the premise of what she was saying, do you agree with any of it? G, you there? Oh, and
Yeah, I
shout.
agree with it, but it ain't no different than what we've been saying. You know what I'm saying? We've been saying this shit for years. I've looked at your post on Facebook. You was saying the same shit years ago. You was having whole arguments. I used to be reading your post on Facebook fucking cracking up, bro. I used to be reading that shit dying. Like these bitches really think we stupid. Like they really think we a bunch of ignorant niggas because we done let them get away with shit. You see what I'm saying?
uh,
That's what I
yeah,
mean. But man, so they ain't did nothing but came and listened to us talk, then come repeat it, and dumb niggas send them money. I don't believe nothing these hoes say. But I know they gain a following because these trick ass niggas, these niggas sending bitches money they haven't even seen before, man.
Yeah, shout out to Judge Zilla and Sacred Ninja. I see you down there in the chat. What's going on? Hurry up and buy. Yeah, Donnie said he'll be up here in a second. He said he's cooking right now. But let's see. Let me read some of these comments. Um, yeah, you said Mike Tyson, but they brought up Lennox Lewis. It's like Lennox Lewis was a taller man on average than Mike. Well, he was a taller man than Mike Tyson. What do you think of that? Rael said
Did
Lennox.
hold on? Did Lennox Lewis fight Mike Tyson in his prime, or did he
Uh,
fight a nigga that had just got out of jail that was fighting for money with no passion? Yeah, I
uh,
hate when niggas do that. Come on, man. You know when niggas was paying Michael Jordan, like that nigga dunked on Jordan when he played for Charlotte. Nigga, was that Mike or was that the nigga that was 40 years old trying to come back and hoop a little bit?
mm,
Come on, man. He did. Lennox Lewis didn't fight Iron Mike.
mm,
You see, people. That's what I'm saying. Mike, man, we know Mike did that fight for money. You get what I'm saying? He did it for money. He had just got out of prison. He didn't have no passion. People was milking him. He just was trying to survive, man. See,
yeah.
people be so. Yeah, that's what I don't even like to talk about that. I don't want to. And to the brother Donnie, I apologize. I didn't mean to insult the brother. I was speaking in general. A lot of people don't know the history of the stuff that they're participating in. They don't know where football came from, or rugby, or hockey. These things were all based off of things they did in the gladiatorial arena. That's why you do it in the arena. Like,
Mm,
what do you? This is why the Roman politicians had the games to keep the masses distracted. That's the same thing the U.S. government does. This is why basketball is so prevalent and sporting is so prevalent because it distracts you from the real deal shit. You when you could just go watch this game, you forget you got to go work in this factory for 12 hours for minimum wage for a motherfucker that's making 18 times what he's paying you. You see what I'm saying? But I can just go home and watch the game, and I can have a wife, and this is the distraction to stop you from making war on the man above you. 'Cause they know if you wasn't distracted, you would make war against them. You get what I'm saying?
mm, mm. Said, um, looking at these comments, uh, they seem like they gotten into what you said seems gotten people into a debate with about Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis. Donnie says Iron Mike was over after Customato died. Prison was just an excuse. Let's see.
Tell that brother Donnie, I don't want no hand-to-hand combat with you, Donnie. I love you, brother. Hey, I don't want no problems, bro. I just want
uh,
to talk. Hey, I'm
uh,
not scared to admit when I'm outmatched. Hey, if I'm outclassed and outmatched, I'm outclassed. Listen,
yeah.
my pride is exactly where it's supposed to be. I'm not about to whoop no trained fighter. That motherfucker work out every day.
Donnie
Shit.
cool guy, man. Donnie a
I know,
cool
I know.
guy,
I'm just joking.
and
But I'm
you know
saying I know my
he's
limits. That motherfucker train every day. I don't
I
do no
wouldn't be fucking.
training.
I wouldn't mess with no guy that wasn't cool, man. Donnie, he cool peeps, man. He just, he just did he just offering devil's advocate. That's what he does. I guess he was disagreeing with a lot of what you said about guys with size or whatever. But it does seem like you were making some points, and he can make some good points too. Oh,
The thing is, what I'm saying is actually based
calm
off
down,
facts,
Roger.
bro.
Roger,
This
calm
is what I'm
down.
saying.
Roger's in
My
the back.
fault, bro.
Roger's in the
Roger
back.
here. Okay.
All
But
right.
what I'm saying is actually based off of fact, though. Like this is like, why do you think people with shorter genes proliferated more than people with taller genes? You got to
Mm-hmm.
remember, most of human history was steeped in warfare, brother. Like
Yeah.
this shit didn't come about peacefully. Like there wasn't a bunch of people always. The UN didn't always exist. You get what I'm saying? There wasn't always meetings going on. Most of history was filled with tribal warfare, from the Europeans to the Africans to the Asians to everybody. Everybody was making war for control of their area's resources until the kings started sitting down together in Rome, where there was the first emperors. people that controlled multiple kingdoms. Well, Egypt probably was the first group of people that controlled multiple kingdoms. But that wasn't a regular occurrence for a bunch of kingdoms to be in the empire till later in history.
Yeah. Well, so we got the Roger report up here. My habitual line stepper brother. Long live the habitual line steppers.
Hey, long live my brother. What's going on, G? How you doing, brother? Uh,
How you doing, big bro? What you got going on?
nah, not much, not much. Just putting a little work in. I'm just up here for a few minutes, but I seen that I had to go back into the vid, and I saw the lady talking, and you know what? She just got more beautiful the more she talked. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but she was getting finer the more she said stuff. It's like, you know what I'm saying? She was getting finer and finer and finer. I don't know what you meet girls like that. I did hear an accent, so I guess you may be a Southern girl somewhere. That's what I'm guessing. I just know she got finer the more she talked. That's all I really know. You know? Yeah. She all right with me.
Shari, would you was there any particular point that you agreed with? And then I'm gonna let Donnie say what he got to say.
Well, I mean, she did keep it real because you know when she was talking about like dealing with you know, you dealing with a situation, you got to call the fire department or a policeman. Not that I have very much faith in policemen as it is to rescue me from anything, but if police actually showed up in time enough to rescue me, who I actually want to do that? I mean, I would prefer it be a dude so I can actually be rescued from the situation. If my life is at stake, I want the best qualified person. That's just the way it goes. And if I'm definitely in a fire, or you know what I'm saying, I got relatives in a fire, or what if I had kids? I got kids in a fire. Who do I want to go get my kids? I want the best person available. I get that some people say that's sexist, but I mean, some stuff I ain't really worried about no equality. I'm not worried about equality when my life is on the line. I'm not worried about equality when my loved one's life is on the line either. So I got to roll with her. I know she said some stuff that kind of pushed the line to a certain degree toward the end, but you know, for the stuff she said in the front, I roll with stuff at the end. Sometimes you gotta just, you know, you gotta take the good with the bad sometimes, you know. And I think it was more good than bad, so I gotta roll with her.
Oh, okay.
And she could be on my team. Plain and simple. I mean, I do assume she's a married woman, though. She sounds like a married woman to me.
Oh, okay. So you're on team. Traditional woman. All right.
Well, you know what? I'm on team woman who does what her husband say. That's the team I'm on. I don't care what he tell her to do. As long as she down with it, I'm rolling with it.
Word. So what up, Donnie? Donnie, I know you was in the middle of cooking.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, what's up, man? So you have some things that you got to say about what G was saying earlier.
I almost forgot what he said, but he was talking about the height issues and what he was saying, something about 6'4", and the greatest warrior in history was 5'6", and it's just not true. But I mean, you can maybe make the argument, but it's just not true.
Based on what? What is you saying is not true based on?
Okay, so
we can pull it up. We can pull it up. No, we can Google it right now. How tall were the most decorated killed warriors in warfare? They have this stuff recorded.
Okay, so are we talking?
You know,
like
they got this stuff recorded, right?
Okay, so are we talking the Vikings? Are we talking the Persians? What are we talking?
We're talking about modern era warriors who were the most dangerous men in the battlefield. And then look up what was the average height of the Spartans. That was the most prolific European fighting force to come out. How tall were they? How big were they? How big are these people today? They're not very big people.
So
you know that, right? The average man.
Hold on, but the Spartans still got their ass kicked. And so by the Persians.
By whom?
Everybody talks about the 300 war, but that's not the only battle that occurred.
The Spartans existed for. Listen, the Spartans existed for a long time. They were a culture.
Right.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
they
saying.
were a whole culture. They were a culture full of
Now, this is
homosexuals
what
and
I'm how
weirdos.
it doesn't matter their sexual preference. Listen, man. You're talking about a group of people who conquered the world. Who gives a yeah? I don't know.
The
Like I
Spartans
said,
didn't
these
conquer the world, so that you're going a little
okay.
far there.
They conquered their area. The Greeks created this system we live in today was created by whom? We didn't create this
System.
shit. Who are the
Yeah,
greatest
but
warriors
what
to
does that
ever
have to
live in the
do?
world? No, I
What
just
does
want
that
you
have
to
to do
ask.
with combat prowess? When we're talking combat prowess, right? When we're
Listen,
talking physical ability to get in the ring or the cage or a man-on-man fight or a one-on-one fight in the street.
there's a reason why the most prized fighting class is the lower classes.
Yeah, because they put on more of a show. They put on more of a show because they're not inflicting as much damage.
Okay. All right. I'll let you believe that. We can look this up though. We can actually factually look up the history behind this.
What do you mean you let me believe that? That's a fact. Smaller weight classes put on longer fights.
Okay.
When you start getting the heavyweights, this is why people were getting knocked out. Everyone wants to see this is why the
honestly, the
combat
smaller
sports
dudes
are
the smaller dudes are better fighter than the big dudes.
the
They're
smaller
better
dudes are more
fighters.
technical fighters because nine
They're
times out of
better
10 they have to be
fighters.
because they can't hit
They are
hard.
better fighters, man.
They can't
They are.
generate knockout force
They
to
have
collapse
more
somebody in
skill.
the second
Okay.
and third round.
No,
It's just not
listen.
happening.
They have more skill. They're faster. They're more technical. Look, this nigga Deontay Ware
Yeah.
was the heavyweight champion. He can't fight. He just hit hard. The nigga can't fight.
Because it's a different weight class. But if you put him in the ring,
listen,
but do you think that if you put him in the ring with somebody who's 4 weight classes below him, that it's just going to end up all right? No, he's going to be unconscious.
Listen, that's the only listen. They are not better fighters. And warfare, how often are you fighting a motherfucker one-on-one?
In warfare,
you're not fighting.
But that comes down to tactics.
Exactly. The smaller guys are better fighter than the big guy. This is why we had the dude Deontay Wilder. Listen, my fault, bro. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. But I'm saying this is why he became the heavyweight champion and couldn't fight. Soon as he fought a dude that was actually trained to fight, he was getting his motherfucking ass whooped.
Sure.
He was physically superior to all the other niggas they had him fighting. Them niggas was bums.
Sure. Which fight are we talking? We talking the white boy? What's his
Deontay
name?
Wilder. Yeah,
no,
and this nigga came out. Listen, the white boy he fought came out from doing. He came out from doing drugs, alcohol, and beat this nigga 2-3 times because he knew how to actually fight. This nigga. Okay, I'm not gonna keep talking about it.
So you're talking. So you're saying because he came out from drugs that was a disadvantage, but you know Mike Tyson knocked motherfuckers out after doing cocaine the night before. John Jones was knocking motherfuckers out after doing cocaine.
Mike Tyson ain't 6 foot motherfucking 5 either. And John Jones was also doing steroids, nigga. He wasn't just doing cocaine.
John Jones was doing steroids, but
John Jones was taking performance. Listen, John Jones was taking performance enhancing drugs.
Yes, he was taking steroids, as were a lot of fighters.
Well, you know, I think that it just depends on what y'all see. Because I can see where the best fighters would be shorter, just because you had more shorter men. But if you go to greatest individual fighter, you may have some bigger people. If you go with greatest individual.
Here's what the problem is. You'll see the smaller dudes and they'll have more technique because they have to. But if you put them in the ring with a bigger person, 9 times out of 10, they're going to sleep. This is the whole conversation we had with Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was 145 pounds and 5 foot what? 5. If you put him in the ring with somebody, Michael Jai White, he's going to sleep.
But I get what you're saying, but that's why I'm saying that the smaller guys would have to be better fighters because they need it. They have to be. They need to be better. They're gonna have to
be better technically, but that goes out of the window when you compare them fighters. Side by side.
No, it don't. They're just big. Okay, you're right.
So if you're better technically than me and I knock you out, does that make you a better fighter, or does that make you knocked out?
Listen, if you knocked me out because you was 100 pounds bigger than me, okay, nigga, you're still not a better fighter. You're 100 pounds bigger than me. This is why they put
it down at that point.
Listen, just go watch a heavyweight fight It's not very much skill. These niggas is standing in front of each other, just hitting each other. These niggas ain't moving. Their movement is slow. Think about this, man. I went to school and did sports. Most of them tall niggas was fucking uncoordinated, lanky. This is why it's such a small percentage of these big niggas even performing at these high levels.
Well,
Think about the average 30. Listen, man, they a smaller person is coordinated faster. His body is more developed faster. He's more comfortable. I've seen it. I've known niggas who 6'2" and ain't fucking athletic at all. A majority of tall niggas aren't athletic.
The majority of the world is what? It's built for right-handed people, and it's built for people who are what? I think the average height is like 5'10". You get on the plane,
think that's the average height?
Right?
Why do you think that's the average height, evolutionary wise?
Evolutionarily? No, I mean that's a basis on.
Okay, so we know that the most
different areas have different heights.
Listen, I'm about to tell you.
I'm working, so I got to get up out of here, y'all. But y'all be
okay, Raj.
All right, Roger.
Look, Donnie, we can look this shit up. This is actual evolutionary biology shit. The most dominant genes.
Using me talking about the height, the average height of America, of where we are, where we live.
No, the average height of the world. America is not in the pocket by itself. The average height of the world is like 5'7". Listen, the average height of the world is between 5'7" and 5'10". These are the most dominant genes in the world. Why? They procreated the most. They achieved more.
Do you think
this is why? This is why.
Say Norway.
This is. And then it was even considered.
Let Donnie.
Okay. My fault, Donnie. Go ahead, Donnie. My fault, brother.
We good.
No, these are advanced concepts. They're advanced concepts. So go ahead.
Yeah. Do you think someone who is, let's say, in Norway, where they're average, they're all tall ass dudes out there, right? At 6'2", do you think that he's going to be more coordinated than somebody who is 6'2" here and with the same environment, shall we say? Right?
No, I don't.
Why is that?
First off, because it's not as big as the thing as athletics in certain communities. Athletics, you actually get trained to be coordinated. I'm talking about natural coordination. Things naturally being small people live longer. Big people die faster. Listen to what I'm saying to you. This is okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're right. Smaller people live longer. They die faster. Bigger people have big hearts and all that shit. Yeah.
This even being big used to be considered a sign of slowness if you were too big. Like, this is why you see the tropes of big dumb jock, small smart geek. The people that were smaller, societies and civilizations were better than the bigger people. This is why the Vikings and shit were trying to run from their homeland and come into Southern Europe and integrate and conquer with them people. So I'm telling you, it's genetic.
I don't know that one in history, but
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me read this super chat. Weather got two of them. Appreciate it. He said we got to get Donnie versus Falcon Black, U.S. versus UK. Falcon Black is over in the UK kicking apples off of bookshelves.
Nigga, I can't do all that shit. I'm at gung fu level now. I pull out the 40.
All right. And then the other one, he says Vernon Forrest, 6 feet, beat Shane Mosley 5'8" twice.
What did he say? What was it? It was
He said Vernon Forrest, 6 feet, beat Shane Mosley.
Oh, I remember that shit
twice.
I remember that shit. It's just a different dynamic. When you're bigger, you typically don't have to rely on being as technical. It just is what it is. You simply don't. If you're 6'3", you have a long reach. You don't have to do as much to generate power. Whereas Manny Pacquiao is a little dude. He has to be precise on his technique because him getting hit could put him down and do more damage. So there is a difference between technical ability and mastering certain things. Just like women, I always think women are the better fighters because they have to be. They have better scrap fest. But dudes show up, they sit down because they want to see knockdown, drag out fight sessions. This is why when you typically think of the best fights or the best athletes, you think of the bigger athletes that are in the ring fighting, the heavyweights going at it. People
No, I
talk
think
about
that's.
Muhammad
I don't think
Ali.
you think about that. I don't think you think about that. You got
So
Ali, you got Frazier. This was the prize class, right? Think about the prize. Who are the most famous prize fighters in history?
I mean, there's a lot to name, but yeah, Muhammad Ali, Frazier, big
And
ass George
also, you
Foreman.
got to remember the heavyweight class. Them tall dudes were new. Like Joe Louis and them wasn't 6'5" and shit.
Muhammad Ali
Joe
was
Louis
Jack
was
Johnson.
6'2" or 6'3", I believe.
No, I don't even think he was. That's how tall Ali is. And Ali was standing over Joe Louis.
I thought Ali
Joe
was
Louis.
6'4"
Joe
or
Louis.
5".
Joe
Ali was
Louis
like
is six
6'2" to
two.
6'4".
Joe
So,
Louis is
yeah.
6'2". Muhammad Ali was 6'3".
Huh? Okay, I thought he was 6'4".
Man, like it's all an opinion. But remember, I'm not speaking on one-on-one fighting in general. I'm speaking on historically the greatest fighting forces wasn't the biggest.
I mean,
That's a
if you're
that's a
talking
historical
forces,
fact.
then it's down to really just skill. Like if you look at, I think
Okay.
I have to look and see, but they said Genghis Khan was who probably has the title of the conqueror of the world.
And
I
how
think they
big are
said that dude was
Mongolians?
about. Well, he's not Mongolian, but he was 6'1". He was a person of the steppe. So steppe was really a conglomeration of like the Mongolians, but they said he was a redhead, so that would lead me to believe he had European ancestry. And they said there was
He was
some,
Eurasian, yeah. They're Eurasians,
yeah.
yeah. So
But they said he was a big ass motherfucker. They didn't say he was no little dude. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a different dynamic. But they, their height didn't really come into question because they weren't really fighting on the ground. They was fighting off of them horses, fucking people up.
okay, and how many tall horse riders are there? Do you know how big jockeys are? Like, come on, man. There wasn't no fucking.
I mean,
Come on, bro.
we talking about jockeys because jockeys are trying to reduce their weight. But we're
Where
talking
do
about.
you think horse? Okay, okay, you're right.
I mean, people ride horses to get from point A to point B. I don't really know.
Listen, bro. I'm talking about a person that's acrobatically fighting on the back of the horse is not fucking 6'3". Do you know how easy of a
why?
target you would be? Do you know how easy of a target you would be on top of a horse that's 6'3"? A lot of this stuff was embellished stories, bro. Like Europeans, most Europeans are
at this
small.
point,
Most
are you
Asians are
telling me
small.
Oompa Loompa was on the back of the horse shooting arrows? I mean, at this point,
No,
it's getting ridiculous.
Okay, you're all right. Okay, you're right. If that were okay, you're right. I ain't gonna talk about it no more. But there's a reason why a majority of the world is not fucking 6'2", and there's a good reason why.
The majority of the world is not 6'2". Are you saying that because they were killed off? I mean, you were saying earlier that they were killed off by just shorter guys.
They were killed off by the more technical, smarter fighting forces, and the more technical they were. Okay,
But who is they?
the tall. Okay, being tall and being big used to be looked at as a hindrance. You were considered slower. This is where you see all the tropes of the big dummy and the smart little genius, or the smart little small person that figured out the way to take down the big guy. David and
Sure,
like
but this
all
is
these
also in the
stories.
time frame before
All
McDonald's was
these
there.
listen, no, we don't. All these stories we have are telling you a story in history, even in real history. Africans, we know for a fact. Listen, we know for a fact that Africans are taller and bigger than Europeans. Why couldn't they beat them at warfare?
You mean other than the guns?
Europeans conquered Africa way before guns. When you had the Ottoman Empire, the Western arm of the Roman Empire, and then you had Carthage, the northern arm, they conquered that shit before guns, bro. And Europeans been running Africa for thousands of years.
So are we just gonna ignore the Moors taking over Spain, or is this what we're doing? Or I mean, like,
Listen, the Moors wasn't all black. The Moors were under the caliphate of Islam, which were white people.
So the
They were
Moors weren't
still
all black.
controlled.
Oh,
They were
the
still
Moors weren't all
controlled
black,
and
but
ruled.
going into the
Listen,
regions where the Moors were,
listen.
there were all of a sudden they were all black. Now I'm lost. Well,
They
help me
wasn't all black.
understand.
The Moors were never all black.
Okay, so but you're describing wars in which they.
I'm describing, listen, and then the Moorish forces was under the command of the Caliphate of Islam, which were white people. They wasn't their own independent fighting force.
What
They
does that
never
have to
was
do
their.
with
There were white people in their ranks.
Okay,
They were getting
so
the way they fought war. They were Muslims.
so are you
Islam is
now
not
saying that the
indigenous
white
to
folks
listen.
won this war? I'm lost here. Help me
Yes,
understand.
they did. White folks were the
Oh, okay.
commanding
So the white folks
officers,
did it.
except Tariq. Tariq was one of the generals, but a majority of the command of the Moors were white people. This is a fact. They were under the caliphate. What's in North Africa now? Who runs Morocco now? Who runs Libya, Algeria, Tunisia? Who runs these places?
Well, let me let me read this super chat right here from Weather. Appreciate it once again. He said the new Manosphere War, tall versus short ninjas. Let's see. We got Judzilla up here. What's going on, man?
What's happening, man?
Help me judge.
Like anybody who's ever been involved in any combos, my hammer fist versus your accurately placed jabs. Like you, I mean, I can't have any. As far as combat sports or combat events go that way between one-on-one or hand-to-hand issuances, why do you think it was so? Why do you think it was so notable that it runs in eons that of Achilles' victory and David's victory? Because it's an uncommon affair.
What's an uncommon affair?
In the Bible?
It's an uncommon affair for smaller opponents to defeat larger opponents.
No, you're talking about a one-on-one fist fight. That's not how history
Okay. And what you're negating here is this: is less than 20% of people are in that tall, big range.
Yeah, less than 15%
well, let me correct that. Less than 20% are in that tall range, and of those that are in that tall range, most of them tend to be in that lankier category. So you're comparing roughly 45 to 50% of male humanity versus maybe less than 9% of male humanity. But those large, there's a reason why my 6'4", 290, between 290 and 320 pounder, when I walk into a bar, the bartenders tend to give me the head nod. And when there's a fight over there, they're not looking for the 5'7" guy. They're looking at me and with the look like, "Are you gonna help?"
Well, brother, what you got to understand is in a John Claude Van Damme movie, he's only 5'4", and he does the splits. Man. So when he does the splits, no,
right, but that's also feeding to the fantasy of better than 50% of the male audience.
Yeah, no, listen, there is no
the big
why.
Person.
Okay, this is what I'm telling you. I'm not a little dude. This is what I'm telling you, man. Your size makes you a target, but most big dudes aren't especially coordinated or strong. It's actually very rare. More of them are actually uncoordinated. More of them don't even know what they're doing. Man, I've seen I've seen more big dudes lose fights to smaller dudes than I've seen big dudes beat up little dudes.
What we're talking about is trained combatant to trained combatant.
Exactly. Okay, if we're talking about warfare now, you're going to be one of the first. Nigga, you a big ass target. You're going to get hit. Nigga
I
gonna
don't
shoot
know.
you 60 times. If
Listen.
your
Look,
your
If
six
that's
foot
if
is
I'm
do you
just
understand
look.
that if that was the
I'm
case,
just
we would have a
I'm
whole
just an
midget
army
war
brat.
force.
I'm just an army brat with a couple of years of private
Right? Yeah.
military contracting behind me. But
okay.
anytime I saw a dude my size, they loved them because guess what they got to do? They got to
Send
use the
their ass through
squad
the door
assault
first.
weapons.
Yep,
They
you
got
going
to.
through the door first, big motherfucker. You're gonna
No,
take
no, no,
all
no,
these
no,
bullets.
no, no. I don't think you understand what a squad assault weapon is. A squad assault
Okay.
weapon is a heavy fucking gun
I know a
that gets
heavy
to lay
machine
down a
gun.
lot of
Okay.
fucking suppressive fire.
Okay. Y'all right.
So
Y'all
one
correct.
man can hold that. One 6'4", 250-pound man can handle that, rather than two 5'7", 170-pound dudes.
I'm gonna go a step beyond. I heard the SEAL team that took out Osama bin Laden, they were all dwarfs. They
Man,
were all
Brother, you
little
Low,
don't.
already.
they had that lower center of gravity, that smaller silhouette.
Okay. And
They
like I
couldn't
said,
get
there's a
shot.
reason why.
It was
There's a
tough.
reason why they, like I said, the history shows there's a reason why you're only 14% of the population. The most dominant
Right, because
genes
it's an
will be
abnormal
in
genome.
nature. No, in nature. No, why aren't you reproducing then? Where are
We
all the
are.
offspring? Where are they at? If 75% of the world is under 6 foot,
Right,
85%.
but
Where is all
Donnie
of you
just gave
guys? Listen,
Donnie
if
just gave you the
70, if
representation of Sweden, Norway, Denmark, right? There are definitely
even
places
with
where
those, even with those numbers, that's still 14% of the population. You're naming these countries like that's the majority of the world.
right.
Where is all these big ass people's kids at? Where did
So
your genes get? Where are they at?
what you have to understand is not everybody's gonna be tall just based on genetics, right? Not like I have a
No,
little brother
yes.
who's only
Every
5'10".
genetics
Everybody,
pass down. I don't want to hear that shit.
Let alone
well, like
Genetics
I said,
tall
pass
my
down.
little brother's 5'10". Everybody in my family is over 6'1". I'm 6'2". Everybody in my family is tall. Like I got a grandmother who it was 6'4"
In
at
your
one point.
family, your brother is the abnormality then. Because if
Right,
all
but
of y'all is over 6 foot, where is all the 6 foot people kids? If y'all only if 86% of okay, all right. I ain't even gonna talk about it.
a
but
lot of them
basically
seem
what
a
you're
lot of them
saying
seem
is that
a lot
there's
of us
just going to
seem to
be a
be
way
involved in
taller.
athletics.
I mean, basically,
No, they're not
what's the
involved
bigger
in that.
Russian?
They're
He's
involved in
6'9".
basketball because most
No,
football players aren't 6'5".
basketball, volleyball, water polo, track,
No,
track and field,
dude,
uh,
most
I
track
mean,
dudes. Okay, listen, most
there's a lot
sprinters
of
crew,
are
tall
not
fighters.
6'4". No, most
crew
sprinters aren't six foot
football.
four.
No,
No, no,
most
you're
sprinters are
talking
not.
about
Most sprinters are
exactly
not
most.
6'4". But when you talk, let's say we can go with guys
Now,
in Muay Thai. There's
Usain
a lot
Bolt
of
was
tall
tall.
Muay Thai athletes. There's a lot of tall boxers. I mean, it just breaks down to the sport of what you're playing.
You're
But
right.
yeah, certain
And
sizes have
then
better athleticism towards that specific sport because it's catered to them. You know, a 6'9" person ain't really got to jump high to go dunk in a basketball. He's probably
No,
no,
just
he
sticking his
doesn't.
hand in there.
I'll
And
give it to you.
also,
I'll give it to you.
who's
There's not a lot
stronger?
of 6'4". There's not a lot of 6'4", 250-pound golfers. You're right. I
No,
mean,
listen,
but
man. These
hey, hold
are
up, man. Hold on.
these things are
Let me get this
okay.
super chat out the way. Gyogamy, thank you, my brother. He said late greetings. LLTHLS, long live the habitual line steppers. Long live, brother. Thank you once again. So go ahead, Judge,
no,
and
no. I
then
mean, like you're making an accurate. Okay, look, you're making part of an accurate argument, right? And giving that the prevalent size basis for human beings is somewhere from five for women is 5'1" to 5'6", and for men 5'7" to 5'7" to 5'10", right? You're right. That's the prevalent basis, and given by what we understand of of mating husbandry, right, that it would appear that they're probably procreating in greater numbers than the larger versions, but they're again and that they're going to be a part of the fighting force in a much larger number than are the taller people. that's a reasonable argument to make, and I can't find a flaw in that argument to make. But to then say, on top of that, to go the extra step to say, and that makes them better, and that makes them.
No, listen, we'll even compare it to this. Bigger people tend to be less coordinated than smaller people. Now, the
During
fact that
adolescence,
there's
sure.
listen. How many? If we're saying they're 14% of a 350 million people population, there's only 1,000 of them in the NBA. There's only another 1,000 of them in the NFL.
Right, but
So
that's
that would
extreme.
leave.
That's extreme difference, right? That's
Bro,
6'4" and above.
Listen, anybody who's played sport have seen these big goofy niggas on the field and shit. Bro, I played football. Most of them niggas was big and clumsy. They got put in a position because they were big.
Well, I mean,
They wasn't. This is why. Listen.
Spartan example, right? You did use the Spartan example.
Now I'm gonna even use this. I'm gonna use another sporting example.
And what I'm
How
saying.
tall are listen? Go ahead. I'm listening. Sorry, brother. Go ahead.
You did use the Spartan example, and Donnie corrected you on a couple of things there. But again, the Ottomans and the Byzantines had known ranks of very large
motherfuckers. Yeah.
And the Ottomans and the Byzantines conquered a whole hell of a lot more than the Spartans did.
Okay, now this is what I'll say. If you played sports, right, they tend to want the receivers to be a little bit taller than the DBs. But what's the average height of a DB? The DBs aren't 6'4" and shit. The DBs are 5'10", 5. Darrelle Revis was
right.
Deion Sanders. These are some of the best cornerback DBs in history, guarding men bigger than them. The reason was because they were more physically gifted. They needed that size. They couldn't physically outperform them. They were just bigger.
Well, no. So when you're shorter, right, and there's a certain
quicker,
size, and
you're faster. When you're shorter,
your legs are going to move faster.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not fat. You're quicker. You're not faster because you can cover. Because a taller person can control.
They're probably faster too. They're probably
not faster. They're quicker.
Why
they're not faster.
Okay.
Your legs are moving at a quicker pace, so it's going to propel you in certain situations necessary for football. And you chop your feet, right? You're going to move at a quicker pace, right? But
you're not going to be faster.
The advantage there is going to go to who? The dude who's a full fucking 4 inches taller than you can just pick the ball out of the air. Because what you going to do to stop him?
That's what I'm saying. Okay, this is what I'm saying. If they run 60 plays in a game, and nigga, you caught the ball 4 times, nigga, I beat you 60. I beat you 56 times.
Not if 4 of those. Not if 3 of those catches are touchdowns.
No, but they're not going to be. How many 3 touchdown games is niggas getting? Think about how many 3 touchdown games is amazing.
If you actually here, because again, you're talking about something that's in my wheelhouse. I had a
and that's in my I
had a scholarship. I had a scholarship to a major university for football, right? And 3 of my positions were cornerback, wide receiver, and quarterback. The numbers will tell you.
And you were 6'4", 320 doing this?
No,
playing cornerback.
I would have been.
You were
I'm 45.
Okay.
That's me now at 45.
How many 6'4" cornerbacks are there? I can name a couple. Cam Chancellor. There's a couple tall corners.
The point that I'm bringing up here is that there are more touchdown receptions than there are touchdown interruptions from cornerbacks or defensive backs.
Okay, because they're
numbers that you can look up that are hard.
You can look it up.
Black and white.
So you're talking about intercept? Like, I don't understand what you're saying. Either interceptions or they to deny the receiver the ball. Listen,
so
there's no way. If we run 6 plays, there's no way. If we run 6 plays, if we run 60 plays in a game, and there's 2 or 3 touchdowns scored, Like there's no way there's no way the receivers are beating the DB more times.
Run the numbers,
There's no
sir.
way.
Run the numbers.
I can run the
Run the
number. It's
numbers.
basic mathematics. Okay.
Kev,
How
you
many?
ran in super chats.
Look, look. You're not arguing with me. You're arguing with the facts on paper.
Let's pull the fact up. Okay, let's pull it up. So you're saying that there's more touchdowns than interceptions. I would believe that because you're not throwing
receptions than touchdown denials by way of defensive back or corner or safety.
If that was the case, then they would be winning. Okay, you're right. There would be 20 touchdowns a game then.
Shit. Oh, okay.
Again,
there's no way. I don't believe that.
That's the point.
I would like to pull. Can we pull that up? Can we pull that up, Kev?
Hold on, fellas.
If there's 6 attempts and I get 3 of them, but they're touchdowns, you still lose.
Kev got a super chat. Hold on.
Oh, you're right. You're right,
man. Dude. Weather with the super chat. Thank you. He said we need a short expert. Where's Ed? Oh my God. And another one. He has another one. I appreciate that. He said tall dudes have baby deer energy.
Now, he was actually accurate in some of these things, but you're conflating and you're cherry picking at a lot of the shit that you're drawing from in forces. Again, in special forces and special forces operation, you're right. The majority of them are not 6'4", 6'3". They're not.
Donnie, you got a lot of background
Army,
noise
Navy,
going, man.
But a lot of them are.
No, of course. Listen. I'm not denying that there's tall people with prowess, but the average tall person, just because you're tall, don't mean you're good at athletics.
No, that's
that
not what
doesn't
we're
mean
saying.
that.
That's
that
not,
doesn't
that's
listen.
Not,
Now, but this is what I'm saying. Now, I'm just being anecdotal, and I participated in sports at high levels. Like in high school, I played varsity. I never went to college. I'm a street dude, so I ain't really go to college. But I'm telling you this. A majority of the time, and we can ask, them big dudes was fucking clumsy, man. They were clumsy, they were uncoordinated, and that's why they created
your reference, and this is what I'm correcting you, because your reference is at a low level.
No, it's not. Listen, only the best of the
your reference is because your reference is at a low level because it's at high school level. It's not even at junior college level. It's not even at
nigga. We all went to high school.
It's not even.
But you had to go to.
Do you understand that there's a filtering process?
You're right.
You understand that there's a filtering process to the NFL, right?
Yes.
And you're
and
at
still
the base
out of all
level.
those. Listen, you're right. All right.
You're at the base level in your high school.
But we all were in high school together.
And that's why some of us got, and that's why some of us got scholarships to colleges and the rest of you didn't.
So
this is what I'm saying.
I think this whole conversation really breaks down to, you really have to do it from a mano level, because at a certain point it just becomes tactics. Like these special forces operators have certain tactics that probably work for them, but it would be adopted if everybody was 6'5" to be at a certain range for them, right? So you really, when you have these conversations of like saying things like, oh, well, you know, they're uncoordinated and things like that. Sure, there's a lot of big dudes who are uncoordinated because they don't know how to put.
Most of them are uncoordinated,
and then they learn, and then they're a problem, and that's what the issue is. If you look at people when they are learning combat sports, yes, you will get the newbies. They'll come in, and the taller, lanky dudes don't know what the fuck they're doing. And then once they are situated and comfortable in their body, they become a problem. That's just how it is.
Rael, guard-orientated league guards are 6'4". Kevin Johnson was 6'4", and he looked like a fucking pygmy on the fucking court. The average height of an NBA guard is 6'3" or above. That's there's no.
Nigga, we talking.
The average
y'all talking about bad. Y'all talking about basketball.
I'm just talking about Ryan the commentator. When you say,
no, I'm just saying we're talking about a game where niggas don't touch each other.
Right.
Come on, man. Okay, I'm ready to hear that shit.
Let's look at sports, right? Or combat sports, right? So if we're talking boxing, there's such things as a jab, right?
The best boxers are smaller. That's a fact. Yeah. And the best boxers are small. The best boxers are smaller. The middleweight
No.
very
class,
subjective.
the lightweight class, the middleweight class, the welterweight class. These are the prize fighting classes. Now
Those
heavyweight,
are the
yeah,
more
The
technical
heavyweight,
heavyweights
fighters
and
who
super
we watch.
heavyweights are prize fighting classes as well.
yeah, they are, but they're less skilled fighters. This is why you can name 10 good
Right,
welterweights, but you can't name
because they're
5 good
able to
heavyweights.
rely on power
You can't say
versus
that.
skill or technique.
All right,
Are you
you're right.
saying that James Toney wasn't a
Exactly.
master in his craft?
I didn't say that. First off, I'm not saying everything in absolutes. The smaller fighters tend to be more better fighters than the big fighters. That
Okay,
they
so
tend to be better fighters. Even in life,
if they get in
even
the
in
ring
listen,
with the
now
bigger
even
fighters, do they win or do they lose?
no, of course they're 100 pounds bigger than them. What are you
So you can't say that
this
there's
is
a
why
better
they
fighter.
made the weight.
Roy Jones Jr. had to pick his opponents very carefully when he stepped up and weighed, didn't he? Very fucking carefully.
Look, you're right. Like y'all right, man. I'm not. It's like it's not even. It's just a difference in opinion. It's not even an argument, man. It's just a difference in opinion. Like I said, it's a difference in opinion. Yeah.
You can't say guaranteed because there's some small dudes who are tenacious and they're good, but overall,
the most dangerous people.
Listen,
the most dangerous people I know aren't 6'5" and shit. They're just not. The most dangerous people I know are not that big of people.
But again, right? Again, I exist within less than 9% of the human population,
and there's a reason why. There's a reason why.
Whereas, specifically, less than 9% of the male population, right? But whereas, like you guys that are in that 5'7" to 5'10" literally make up 50% or more of the population.
No, if you guys are only 14% of the population, they make up 86% of the world's population. And there's a reason why these people genes are keeping going. Okay, you're right. But I'm talking basic scientific evolutionary biology. I'm not talking about how you feel because you're big. None of that. Like,
no.
It's not personal. But there's a reason why other people's genes proliferated through the centuries and some dwindled and failed. There's a reason why.
If you remember, I came up saying the argument that 6'3", 6'3" and above is an abnormal genome. It's abnormal in the human genome.
It was listen. The smaller people were so dominant over the bigger people that it became a trope that big people were stupid. Like we've all seen these tropes play out.
Right. It's because it's an easy trope for the masses.
But it's not an easy. It's okay. It shows in okay. You're right. You're right. It's an easy trope for the masses. They're the masses for a reason.
Right. Right.
The reason they're the masses.
Because no. Understand it. Look. Understand it. How many small people have been getting their ass whooped by big people?
First off, you're not. When you're 5, you're not small at 5'10". You're smaller than the bigger motherfucker. Yeah, you're smaller than the person that's 6 foot. But if a majority of the world is not 6 foot, you're not small at 5'10".
Bro, let me ask you a question. How tall are you?
I'm 5'10". This is what I'm saying to you. But this is not a bias.
Now
but no, I'm not biased to this. I'm not biased. I'm gonna say my brother is 6 foot.
Hey man, look, man, you're right. Hey, you, oh man, hey, you're gonna get mad at me because your name wasn't on the clipboard.
No, why would I be mad at you? Listen, why would I be mad at you, nigga? That shit is a game. Listen, you right. Y'all right, man. I'm gonna say this. Y'all right. I'm gonna just say y'all right, man. Y'all right. But there's a reason that there's more me than y'all. And most of the world was steeped in warfare. People were dying and being murdered and killed and fighting battles, and there's a reason why there's more of the 5'7" to 5'10" people than the 6 foot people. They killed them off, man. This is basic evolutionary biology. This shit is taught in college courses.
Okay, you're right. Where's the basis for that, though? Do you have
Okay.
like some mythic book where it's like, oh, tall people must
Yeah,
die?
matter of fact, we can pull it up. You willing to show it today, Kev? Or do y'all want me to bring the
Are we
source? 'Cause
showing tall man
give me
genocide?
time. No, give me time. Give me time, and we can get the books. And Iceman Inheritance. These people wrote books about this shit.
So there was
There's
a
actual
pygmy.
books.
There
No,
there
there's
was
an
there was some
actual.
pygmy
Okay.
and what are the ones that jump all the time?
All right. Oh, you right. Y'all right.
He clowned it.
What's the African tribe that
Holocaust?
does the jump? There's a Maasai,
It was,
right? So
no,
there was a
it was,
pygmy and Maasai war.
it was a Holocaust. That's what it is. The Holocaust.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, whether
Look,
with the
I'm not
super
worried. I know those shit. They got beat. That's just all there was to it. They got beat in war. They got beat in civilization. They got knocked off. Listen, there's reasons for this shit. I'm not saying that you're stupid. No, listen. This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. Listen, I'm not saying it's an absolute. I'm not speaking in absolutes. I'm speaking more in generalities. The trope exists for a reason. A lot of things are based in fact.
Look, I get you. Look, I have no doubt that monkeys and chimpanzees make fun of gorillas, but I don't think they want to fight them.
Yeah, I mean that's real shit.
Listen. They fought them. Everybody's fought everybody, man. Niggas wasn't scared. Niggas wasn't scared because everybody's just not scared of a nigga because he's bigger than them. Like, come on, man. Serious, man.
It doesn't. But doesn't. Like, this is what and Donnie will know this. You understand, right? Being scared is not a requirement to getting your ass handed to you.
Oh yeah, and being big is not necessarily mean you're going to win a fight against a smaller opponent.
The numbers say differently.
So let me explain what the dynamic is, right? So there are short dudes.
You're talking about in a controlled environment.
I'm talking about.
You're talking about in a controlled environment,
right? Aren't you 5'10", Kev?
Give or take an inch. Well, I'm not 5'9", but I'm closer to 5'11".
He's 5'9". Okay, no, I'm playing.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so Kevin's about 5'10", right? So we had a conversation about him fighting the dude. This nigga was about 6'6". My first conversation with him was hit that nigga in his knees. At that height, he's gonna have a problem with his knees, right?
If he doesn't know
because taller people typically have problems with their knees in that age range. So yes, there are some certain differences. However, not everybody's gonna have problems with their knees. I'm not 6'6", I'm 6'2", so technically I'm in that range. If somebody who's 5'9" tries to have a tussle with me, I'm probably going to be a lot stronger than them because I'm just simply bigger. That's just what it is. So they can run around, they can be faster than me. The moment I grab his ass, it's a wrap, right? That's the conversation we had with Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is a wonderful example of martial artist who was out here, quote unquote, I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but they said he was leading the pack in terms of martial arts. If you put Bruce Lee in the ring with somebody who is 6'2", and similarly trained, doesn't even have to be as good as Bruce Lee. And he catches Bruce Lee, it's Bruce Lee's going night-night. Why? Because there's a height difference there and a strength difference that comes with it. I understand the dynamic of coordination and training and everything else. However, size fucking matters. That's why there is weight classes. You don't put a 5'3" dude, or what was Bruce Lee was like 5'4" or 5 dude, 140 pounds in the ring with somebody who's 200 pounds and 6 foot.
Yeah, let me read this super chat from Weather. He said, just say you got beef with tall Americans. I
don't got beef with nobody, bro. I ain't got beef with nobody. Like I'm not insecure about none of that or nothing. I'm speaking on history and evolutionary biology. I'm not speaking because I was mad I'm not 6'2". I'm not 6. Like that's irrelevant. Like that's irrelevant in the big scheme of things how tall you are. It's really irrelevant.
But
that's
also
really irrelevant.
The height is played a role also by the nutrition and the food that's around these people. These people, not a lot of these people didn't have.
Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of being my height, right, to being not only tall but thick as well. There's a lot of downside. Like I am lucky. I am going to be lucky to see 70 years old. Extremely lucky.
Fuck you. I'm gonna make it to 80.
Well, I just said I've looked around and I don't see a whole lot of 6'4", 270, 280, especially when I was above 300. I see a whole lot of them cats around. So there's a lot of downsides to this. But the point of the point of the debate, we'll call it less argument, more debate, was that definitely, unobscurably, smaller fighters are better than bigger fighters.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand by my opinion of that. That's the difference in opinion. It's not even a debate; it's a discussion.
Like even in I make a much larger silhouette, so even in a shooting war, look, I have a much larger silhouette, but that's maybe why they give me the big.
But no, I'm saying this, and I believe that Sugar Ray was the best fighter ever, not Ali. Ali got himself
Robinson Leonard.
So I believe that Sugar Ray was the greatest fighter, the greatest pugilist, the greatest boxer. Right? I believe that. That's my opinion from everything I've seen and everything I've seen in boxing, everything I've learned. I'm not a trained fighter.
Say that because of his record, or is because
his record, his proficiency fighting, his skill, his defensive style, the way he broke the Philly shell deep. And we know that there's fighting styles. That dude, Sugar Ray, was a special fighter. Like, he was just special. I
don't think Mayweather gets his credit for the same reasons, but hey.
Mayweather one of the best to ever do it.
Yes.
He didn't get that was absolutely. The point of boxing is to hit somebody and not get hit back as a sport. That's the point, to score points on your opponent and not be. He was one of the greatest to not get hit back.
It's to inflict more damage than you receive, but that's kind of what you were saying.
Boxing is because originally they used to call people like Jack Johnson. They used to call Jack Johnson a pussy because Jack Johnson was dodging punches. He would actually let people hit him and then be like, "All right, game on," and then you couldn't hit him the rest of that match, and he'd fuck you up. So you have to understand, boxing has evolved into not getting hit, but there's some of the greatest wars of all time, and people consider some of the greatest fighters of all time are dudes who went in there and just slugged it the fuck out.
I don't consider them niggas. I think them the dumbest niggas to ever live. You niggas stood in front of a motherfucker and let them punch you in the face. Cause I'm tough and niggas just punch me in the face. But that's why a lot of them dudes ended up with brain problems.
Right, but what you're saying, but you're going into a combat sport anyway, so But nonetheless, but then again, like that's like saying, everybody who can dunk out easy, versus the 3-point shooters.
Which one scores the most?
Everybody who dunks crazy blows out their knees.
Yeah, we have dunk contests because people want to see people jump up in the air and do crazy shit in the air, but they still got to bring 200 to 300 pounds down on them little bitty ass knees. I don't care how big you are, the knees is little.
Knees and tendons, and they don't last, right? Cedric Sagbal, we can list, we for 25 minutes just listing people that had to go out with surgeries because of that, and when they came back, they weren't doing that anymore. Right? I mean, so when you say best boxers or that's it's a very subjective thing, because as Donnie brings up, there are people who are staunch advocates for the brawlers, that get in there, the blood sport. This is what it is, and then there are others who are into the sweet science, right? And maybe the point collecting aspect of things. Right, and then there's another camp that is a hybrid of both of them.
Agreed.
The Cesar Chavez of the world. Like, Cesar Chavez, to me, in my opinion, wasn't a great boxer. People love Cesar Chavez because he was in there going for a brawl. This motherfucker would be cut every fight. just leaking.
And another thing, whenever you see a lot of them brawlers come against a real technically trained boxer, he gets his ass whooped.
Right,
No,
but the
not
fans,
They
but,
beat
but,
the
but
shit
many,
out of him.
but many spectators consider it a boring fight.
What was
Yep,
that
it
white
was
boy? I
boring,
can't forget a white
but I
boy's
still
name.
won the fight. If I
What was the
punch
white boy
you
that they made a
300
movie
times, listen, if I punch you 300 times and you hit me 40, I won the fight.
But that's also why they stand up fighter in UFC and MMA, right? Because people don't understand what's going on the
about? No
ground,
movement. Yeah, there's no movement.
right?
And really that's why
But
MMA
that's
took
part of
over.
grappling, ground wrestling. Sometimes you're not going to get any movement, right?
Well, that's also why
Because
MMA took over
you're both in
over.
a position, and you've got to wait for somebody else to either take a break from their position or take a breath from their position, or you're holding strength from one. You're like, who's going to break weak on a hold or a position first, right?
Well, I mean, so when you look at boxing really went to a large decline because the heavyweights disappeared. You had a lot of the smaller guys going at it, and that was fun for a while because you didn't have anything else. But UFC
A
was
lot of them
creeping
big niggas can't fight.
It was the little dudes that was actually everybody was watching. But the UFC came in, and the UFC was a flash bang promotion because although, especially in the early days, those guys were not technically sound.
No,
Chuck Liddell, prime example. Chuck Liddell couldn't box. Chuck Liddell, he could just wrestle. He could
Shamrock.
keep you from taking him down. That motherfucker would hit you and knock you the fuck out.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to see a Chuck Liddell fight. I don't know if you remember that era. Everybody was watching the UFC with Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, because these were flashy fights where somebody was going in there, they were banging. Somebody would get knocked the fuck out and go right to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'd be choked unconscious or a limb broken, because these were the exciting elements of what fighting was. People wanted to see the slugfest and less the art, more the bang.
Yep.
So I get where you come from when you say, these smaller dudes who are more technical. Yeah, they really have to be, because they don't have the knockout power of the big dudes. But are they better? No. I just overall, if you look at overall, everybody's gonna go and watch somebody get knocked the fuck out, and they'll enjoy it. Whereas only a small selection of people are gonna sit there and go and enjoy the technicality of the actual fight.
Who's the what's the name of the big dude in Japan? You know what I'm talking about, the brother.
Bob Sapp.
Huh?
Bob Sapp, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
350 pounds with a six
They
pack.
was whooping Bob Sapp ass.
I put a technical featherweight in there with him.
Well, no, it was a couple
Listen,
dudes with Bob Sapp, but Bob Sapp didn't have any technical ability whatsoever. But he would hit you and you'd go.
He was big though. He had power. They was beating Bob. They was kicking his knees out from under him, man.
Right. But you can put the most
Michael
technical
Crocop
featherweight in there, welterweight in there. And what's going to happen?
Of course, you're 200 pounds. Okay, you're right. You're right. Put somebody who actually can fight against some. Listen, put somebody who actually. I remember watching them old UFC tapes when they didn't have a weight class. The biggest dude wasn't always winning.
That's why I'm talking about the Japanese stuff. Is because a lot of the places in the Japanese stuff, they removed the weight classes, and a lot of it was spectacle fighting.
Yeah, it got ridiculous. So the original UFCs, while that is true, Ken Shamrock was typically, or Chemo, they were typically in the top two. Shamrock is 6'3".
No, Shamrock ain't that big, man. Shamrock not 6'5", 6'4", man. I don't believe that.
Ken Shamrock, look him up. He's like 6'3" or 4". I'm
gonna look it up. When we get off, I'm gonna look it up. No, let me grab my phone. I'm not on my phone. Let me grab it.
You had
I believe Shamrock is 6'1".
6'1", okay.
No fucking 6. What I'm saying, a lot of this shit gets exaggerated, man.
Well, he's over 6 foot, but either way.
Listen, just because they said he was, that don't mean he was either.
Either way,
because they said he was, that don't mean he was.
But who won all of the original UFCs? It was Royce Gracie. Not
Royce Gracie like 5'11", 5'10".
He is, and he would get his ass beat by his older brother Hickson, who is how tall? Kev, why don't you give us the height on Hickson if you can find it?
Say Hickson.
And they didn't put Hickson in there because Hickson was the older and talented brother. Even though really and truly jiu-jitsu kind of neutralizes height, but yeah,
Rickson Gracie is 5'10".
he's 5'10". Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah. Royce
Yeah,
is
he was
6
six
foot.
foot
Hickson is
five.
5'10".
He's a legend.
I say the
So,
smaller dudes tend to be better fighters than the big dudes, man.
well, I mean,
You
I
can't,
wouldn't say
again,
that.
you're saying better. Like you're saying, again, you're saying better, right? So you have the Gracies that have more wins by submission, right? But they don't have the wins. Like, but again, there are
Who
people who have
won?
more wins by knockout.
Yeah, there are. There are. As soon as they start losing a little bit of that knockout, baby, start beating they motherfucking ass. Like yeah, Chuck Liddell was good. He was knocking people out. As soon as he lost a little bit of that step and they got competitive, motherfuckers beat the shit out of Chuck Liddell.
Well,
That's a
Chuck Liddell
fact.
had a cocaine problem, but I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
he eventually lost, just like Tito Ortiz and everybody else. But you know,
Yeah,
he's
again,
still.
yeah.
you like the only one that I know that retained a. There's only two fighters that I know that retained a jaw for almost all of their career. That's Rua and Butterbean.
Ooh, Butterbean, Jesus
That boy
Christ,
Butterbean the shit. Hey, I seen the Butterbeans fight. That motherfucker
And
didn't care.
and eventually even they lost their chins
because
Yeah,
because
Butterbean don't have a neck.
that's just what's going to happen.
yeah. That boy Butterbean used to just run dead at a motherfucker. He didn't run, but I'm saying he wasn't doing no ducking. He wasn't ducking no wreck. I like Butterbean, man. He wasn't ducking shit.
And don't get me wrong, I'm just saying those were the two most notable chins. Now there have been plenty of boxers that I've seen that have that had chins that could eat punches, but you could only do that for so long. And again, I think the ones that had the longest, most notable careers doing that were Rua and Butterbean. Unless
You
anybody
talking
has
about
anybody
Shogun
else that they
Rua?
can put up there.
You talking
Was
about
that
Shogun? You talking about Shogun?
no boxer. What's his name?
Talking about David Tua?
David Tua. Sorry, I said Rua.
Yeah.
Tua. Sorry,
Well,
you're right. I said Rua and I meant Tua.
interesting dynamic. Yeah, I mean, you know, overall with the height, I think it does play a difference in dynamic, but it, you know, it also comes down to skill. But you know, overall, if you're going to see somebody who's 6'3", you can't negate their height,
Power.
weight advantage, and everything else that's going to come into contact with somebody who's of a smaller dynamic. It sounds good to say that the little guy is going to be able to take on because it's cool, but that's just not really a thing.
No, I'm not doubting it, brother. And like I said, I'm not doubting it. And I have fought big dudes and got my ass beat. Like I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I've been in a lot of fights in my life. I done fought big dudes and got beat up. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't never fought a motherfucker that was 6'6" though. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. We just come in a pistol play with this tall ass. We ain't doing no fighting.
There's a reason why Lewis and the Klitschko brothers ran the streaks that they ran.
They was 6'8". Shit, the motherfucker. they was just dude. They was way bigger than the dudes they was fighting though, man. I've seen some of them dudes they was fighting was 5'11", man. Like they were not only bigger, they were longer. Like yeah, they were just. It was a whole nother class, man. It was a whole nother class. That's how them dudes like Tyson Fury even came in 6'9" and shit. Like them dudes was just big, man.
Elwood, you're right, but even he had to say no more sooner or later, right?
Yeah, everybody do, man. You know, I'm just speaking from my point of view, and it's not a fact. You know, I don't know everything, and I'm not always right. I can admit and concede when I'm wrong. If I'm proven wrong, I'll never argue when the person proves me wrong factually. But if we're going off opinion, of course, I love my opinion.
I
Yeah.
I got into it with a dude who was 6'4", 300 pounds. He had 2 inches on me. That was a pain in the ass. he had 200 inches. He had 2 inches on me and 100 pounds. That was a pain in the ass. I'm gonna tell you. He at one point he mounted me. Luckily we've been working with drills with a dude who was in the gym who was 300 pounds. I was able to push him off me once. It wasn't no second time. You know what I'm saying? But the height difference makes a complete difference in the game. And I would say that I was a better fighter than him technically, more sound, but that motherfucker just was bigger, and they kept screaming out jackhammer. He threw a leg kick that made me spin around. So there is something to technique and everything with it, but size fucking is shit. It's a motherfucker.
And then I'm by like I was a wrestler in school too. Like now I wasn't good. I was good at football. I was good enough to play varsity, but I knew for a fact I was never amongst the most elite football players. I wasn't fast enough. I wasn't big enough. I was never amongst the elite football players. But I was an elite wrestler. I was a nationally ranked wrestler. I went to the Adidas National, the Miami Nationals. I won the junior nationals when I was in the 7th grade. Me and I could give you the names. Me, Amir Bribia-Seka, Jeremy McCoy. I could give you could Google this. This shit is still on the internet to this day. And I'll say this: I never lost a wrestling match to a dude over 6 foot.
God damn.
Never. Freestyle, folk style, and I never did Greco-Roman. Yeah, I never did Greco-Roman.
But check this out. You're a wrestler, right? Right?
Yeah.
Who you putting up against Drew Long Gardner in his role?
Yeah. I mean, some people just special. Hey, some people just special, man. Hey, I ain't gonna like some people are just special. Even regardless of his height, he's just a special wrestler. So you like I can't. But when you look at like Dan Gable and them, like them dudes were 5'10", 107. They're considered 160 pounds. Like they're considered the gods of the sports. Cael Sunderson, Dan Gable, like a lot of Jordan Burroughs. But I think even Jordan Burroughs might be 6 foot. He might be 6 foot or 6'1".
All right.
I don't think he's that. I don't think he's got the weight though.
Yeah. Let me
He's
read
only
this
like
chat.
he's only like 175.
Yeah, let me read this super chat. Weather, thank you once again. He says Obsidian is 5'5" and can fight. The only person that ever whooped him was Miss Brown Sugar, but I heard she's 6'4". Man,
I can't. All I'm gonna say is do not look at. Never mind, I'm not gonna do it. Never mind. Sorry.
Okay.
Curtis
listen,
Jackson.
now,
I wasn't saying on this program. I was
say,
talking to somebody in here. Sorry, go ahead.
No, what I will say, I honestly believe that you and Donnie would beat my ass in a fight.
Oh, hell no, I'm 45 years old, not a shape.
Man, you got that old man strength. You would knock a motherfucker out. You can't do it, man. If you're the size that you like, I've never seen you 6'4", 300 some pounds. You a big solid motherfucker, man. I don't care if you was just
now. It took me some work. I'm a fat boy recovering,
But listen, even the fat boy, listen, you stronger than a motherfucking ox. So I wouldn't just think that I could just run up on your big 6'4" ass and this is about to be a fair situation. First thing I'm gonna try to do is, brother, let's have a talk. Let's try to talk this one out. You know what I'm saying? That's why I told Donnie I don't want no smoke with it. Donnie, I don't want no smoke with your training kicking ass. You're not about to stand back and listen, I don't want Donnie to stand back and sling a 80-inch leg at me. He's 80 inches. What's your reach? Like 76 inches or some shit? What's your wingspan?
78.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to be 6 feet away getting kicked.
Okay. Hey, but listen up, fellas. I'm about to bring this one to an end. It's been a really good conversation. We got Chaos Rain up here. Let's see what he got to say.
Lord.
Hey, what up, Chaos?
I'm not making the argument.
What's good?
All big men are better. Yeah. What I'm making the argument for is not all small guys or smaller guys are the best.
I agree with you.
There are multiple variables that go into these things and circumstances that go into these things. But just to automatically dismiss larger combatants is not a wise approach in my understanding of things.
And I agree with you, Judge. I was never saying everybody, but I was just saying, in my opinion, the smaller guys are more technical, skilled fighters than the bigger guys. And if and that's just my opinion. Now, I'm not saying there's never been a big guy that was technically skilled and was one of the amongst the greats. I'm not saying that. So I want to clear that up. From that standpoint, I just want to clear that up. That's not what I was implying, and I wasn't speaking in absolutes. And if I spoke out of turn, I apologize. I didn't mean to offend nobody. I wasn't shooting shots. That's why I apologized to Donnie because I had said some things that was a little harsh. But that's because I was just being passionate about these bitches.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure everything is okay. But of course, everyone can speak for themselves. But chaos, what's going on, man?
Yeah, man. You're talking about the traditional BWs,
Yeah,
these black
we
beeps. You know what I'm saying?
we were talking about it, but we went into a whole conversation about height and fighting and
Well,
evolutionary.
what you lack in height, you must be more technical because the man that's taller usually has depending on the wingspan, the reach.
He has the physical advantage.
Yeah, yeah, man. That
Yeah,
reach will get you, man. What you trying
yeah,
to
but go ahead and speak because I'm about to bring this one to an end. It's been over 2 hours, so
Yeah, so like I said, when you don't have the height, you always got supplement for certain lacking. And Obsidian is 5'7", not 5'5". I'm not sure why people keep calling him 5'5". I'm just saying.
I'm checking those shoes. I'm sorry.
say checking the
So,
shoes.
yeah, yeah.
All right,
Anyway,
all
Wearing old school Skechers.
right.
but that's all I gotta say. Okay.
All right. Well, hey, so anyone with final statements, like before I close this out?
I just want to say it was nice talking to you, brothers. And this would be another prime example of when thinking men get together, we really not even worried about bitches. We gonna find something interesting to talk about. But when these bitches get together, all they talk about is us. Peace.
Yeah, that
Okay, I'll say
can't do
I'll say it, and it. How shall I put this? Okay, I would rather not find out than find out.
Yeah, that usually is better than incident free.
I would rather keep the mystery than find out the secret.
Yeah. All right.
So I'll make a quick story. So back when I was training, I had a taekwondo master as a teacher, and he was about 5'7", ran 6 miles, fast as fucking lightning. I'm talking quick. And we would spar, and this man would jump up in the air and throw a whole roundhouse kick and hit me, and it would fuck me up because like he could just do it, and I couldn't do anything. And then eventually, I learned I could just catch his ass and throw him, and then jump stopped. Um, that's just my point. Like, just size makes a difference if you know what to do with it. Now, when he was originally whooping my ass, and he was getting away with something. But the moment I realized I could grab his ass and throw him, all that shit went out the window. So that's my little 2 cents on the whole situation. But wonderful show as usual, Kev. I appreciate you. We'll have to talk about this woman next time, I guess, or maybe just after the show we'll talk about it. But
Word.
I ain't shit. You ain't shit for watching. I'll holler at y'all later.
Word. All right. Well, yeah, definitely interesting one. But just to reinforce what I said at the beginning of the show is that I'm hard pressed to really take female leadership seriously. And the video, whether you believe it was Cap or said she had some, I would say that she had some really good points in the video itself. Really did not, as far as the lengthy conversation goes, get into it, but tell you something, with these YouTube channels, we always can get into the conversation again. And yeah, but we had a good conversation nonetheless. So this is a channel for black men, so that's how black men conversation goes. Starts out one way and then ends another way. So I'm really appreciative of that. So just go ahead and end it right here. Thank you for the super chats and the cash apps. You guys are really supportive, and you guys keep me going here on the channel. Really enjoy. And tomorrow night, haven't thought about a show yet. I haven't been on in a couple of Mondays, so uh, it'll be kind of like a return to a Monday night, and we'll see what happens. So thank you, chat, as usual. Thank you to the gentleman that took the time to come up here and uh, give their thoughts and their opinions and make this discussion really good. Appreciate you guys. All right, and I'll end it here. So we'll say this: Long live the habitual line steppers, and Kev, we trust. I'm gonna win, and when that happens, we all win. So peace out till the next time.